Well, before we get started, I just want to go over safety. We have a clear chamber and the magazine is removed, and so we're going to move on to disassembly. Got the gun disassembled here. I'm going to polish the feeder amp here and here, and I'll show you that after it's done. Alright, after applying our polish and polishing the feeder amp, as you can see, it is a mirror finish, much better than before. And so we're going to get this thing clean now. I'll go over that in just a second. So moving forward in the cleaning process, essentially we got all this grit in here, and honestly everywhere, because I had a little bit too much material, polish material. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a good wipe down. I use this Hops number 9, some cotton wipes, and we're going to wipe this thing down completely, and then we're going to use our brush and get in all of our rails and tight spaces, and make sure we get this thing clean out and get all this excess material out. I'm going to show you that in just a second. Alright, so got done snaking the barrel, got it very clean, and got this lower nice and clean, got all the grit out of it. And so basically we're just going to throw this back together and then go on to our next subject. When it comes to the cleaning process, I pretty much, it's very similar to any other firearm. You clean anywhere there's going to be mechanical interactions, or anywhere where there's going to be deposits. Now specifically on the 1911, with the feeder amp, you know, it's making sure that's free of debris, making sure it's a nice smooth transition. That's why we're polishing it. It's important to focus there and make sure there's not a lot of carbon buildup there. And also the rails, the slide rails on these, they're integral to the frame. They're not like you can just take them out and replace them on a Glock. So it's important to make sure they're free of anything abrasive, as I said earlier. And we're going to be moving on to finishing up that process. All right, thanks. One way you can help a customer spot ammunition-based malfunctions is simply having them change ammunition if a problem persists. Especially if there's an excess amount of carbon buildup in a short period of time. Maybe they could be using old or malfunctioning ammunition. Also, it's important to remember that underpowered ammunition can cause short stroking, essentially, of the action, or just mainly malfunctions that repeat themselves using certain types of ammo. It's mainly the best thing you can teach your customer is pattern recognition. If it keeps messing up with one type of ammo, try a different one. If it likes that better, maybe there's a problem with the firearm or there's a problem with the ammunition. Some of the damage that can occur from using incorrect ammunition or overcharged hand loads could be damage to the firearm, or in some cases, I've seen where the magazine can detonate and actually eject from the gun. The slide could technically detach and cause injury. It's important to remember to stick to loading guidelines and make sure you're using the appropriate ammo for the appropriate gun. As far as training customers on proper stance and grip, I think it's important to show that some malfunctions can occur because of improper grip and because of improper stance. Limp wristing the firearm can definitely cause malfunctions with the 1911. So as far as full-blown, safety classes and training, just maybe at least be able to point out what malfunctions can occur due to improper handling. I, at boot camp, saw a guy chew the joint between his thumb open because he got Beretta bit so bad. And I will never forget seeing that nerve out of his hand hanging across the back of the Beretta. So yeah, it's also a safety issue, not just a malfunction avoidance. Lastly, the big thing when you're putting accessories on a firearm, it's important to know that how they affect the firearm. If you add an optic, you're changing the mass of the slide, which can cause you to have to change your recoil spring, or if you're adding a light, that can change the muzzle flip, compensators, all these things. All these accessories can change it. Now on the 1911, you don't really have a lot of options for accessories. You don't have an optics rail, you don't have a light, but on any other firearm, it's definitely important to know that changing the mass of any of the operating components can definitely change how that firearm functions.